Well, what is going on, Atlanteans of the internet? It is your boy, D-Wizzle. Thank you as always for tuning back into the channel. This is episode 12 of the D-Wizzle podcast. We are back with another installment, finally. Sorry for the wait. I've been trying to get this out there, towards the beginning of the month, but we're here now. Back with another installment. If you guys are new to the podcast, welcome. This is pretty much a podcast where we talk about all things in the geekdom and nerd culture, have hours of debate and discussion, get more into the analysis of different comic book movies and other movies similar to the genre. But anyway, on this episode, we will be continuing on through our journey through the DC Extended Universe, Worlds of DC, whatever you want to call it. We talked about all the films in the DC Extended Universe. We talked about Man of Steel, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Justice League. If you guys haven't watched those, I will leave links in the description below so you guys can check them out. But today, we are finally going to be talking about Aquaman. Joining with me today, I finally got them back here on the panel. We got the OG squad here with me. First of all, we have Captain Eagle.
Hey there. So glad to be back. It's been a while.
I know. I've been trying so hard to get you guys back here on the podcast. And also joining with me today, we have Dr. Nick. Or he doesn't want to be called Dr. Nick anymore. He's going by a different alias. We have... I forgot your name. What was it? Jojo! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just going to take me a minute because I always call you Dr. Nick, so I have to get used to the name. Jojo. We have Jojo back on the panel.
Hello there, everyone. It's so good to be back.
Yes, so glad to have you guys back. And also we have a third guest. We have Crimson Amazon is back on the podcast. Well, actually not at this moment. She's going to be on the podcast, but she just had to deal with baby stuff before she comes on. So she will be here. She just needs to attend to some matters. But I finally got her here on the podcast. So I have the original squad here with me. I'm so excited. With that being said, I don't want to waste any more time. You guys ready to get into Aquaman?
Oh, yeah.
No, not really, no.
Then I don't know why you're here, bruh. You pretty much wasted my time putting all this effort to bring you guys back. And you're like, no, not really.
$1 billion at the box office. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yep. We'll definitely get into that. But anyway... we will get you on our huge spoiler discussion. Oh yeah, by the way, this is spoilers. This is a huge spoiler talk about Aquaman since the movie came out last year. So if you guys haven't seen Aquaman, I implore you guys to watch it first and then come back and listen to this. Or if you just don't care about spoilers, go ahead and listen on. But anyway, that being said, we're going to hit you with this badass Aquaman trailer, and then we'll get back to you on our spoiler-filled discussion.
In this trident resides the power of Atlantis. In the wrong hands, it would bring destruction. But in the hands of the true heir, it would unite above and below.
The time has come for Atlantis to rise again.
We must stop him.
And how do you propose we do that?
By retrieving this.
I already got one of those.
Not like this one, you don't.
The war is coming to the surface whether you like it or not.
Your mother always knew you were special. She believed you'd be the one to unite our two worlds.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now I need something more.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
Aquaman. So, this film was released December 21st, 2018. This is the 7th film of the DC Extended Universe.
6.
Was it 6? Is it?
Yeah, it's 6.
Oh, okay. So, wait, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, Justice League. Okay, yep, you're right. This is the 6th film of the DC Extended Universe, and is directed by James Wan. So, before I set the stage, since I wasn't able to have you guys on the panel, I'm going to go around the table and have you guys speak real quick about how you guys felt about the DC films up until this point. So you talk about how you felt about Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, real quick. Start with Captain Eagle. How did you feel about that?
Okay. Well, I'm not a DC hater. Obviously, I've watched all the Marvel movies, like we've talked about those. But I'm also a fan of DC. I don't know why people can't be fans of both. I am. Man of Steel, I thought was good. Like, it was a solid film. Like, I really don't understand why people are hating on it. Like, oh, all the destruction and stuff. I mean, yeah, it can be a lot. But I think it's a solid film. I really enjoy it. Batman vs. Superman, I love that film. Everyone hates on that movie. I love it. Especially the Ultimate Edition. It's just so good. Suicide Squad, not so much. It's just fine, because it has a lot of problems with plot, and it just doesn't fully work. You could tell it was messed up with the reshoots and everything. So that's like, the low point for me. And then Wonder Woman was like a great origin story, really just strong, female character, just a badass and a really great story. Justice League, the culmination of everything so far, it should be this big hyped thing, and it just came and went without much impact, really. You could tell that movie was really fucked by Zack Snyder stepping away and Joss Whedon taking over, and all the reshoots and everything that went with that movie. Like, I enjoyed it when it first came out, but on rewatch with D-Wizzle, it wasn't as good. You could just tell there were problems with it. It just didn't fully work.
Yeah.
So, there are, like, good parts in it, but overall, that movie is also a disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Jojo, how do you feel about the DC films up until this point?
Ooh. Now, I love DC. I love the DC characters. The mythos of DC is great. I also love Marvel. I just love superheroes in general. But I have a bunch of problems with the DCEU or DC Cinematic Universe, whatever we're calling
Worlds
it.
of DC. I don't know.
Anyway, when Man of Steel came out, I was mixed. I had mixed reviews on it. I did like Henry Cavill as Superman. I liked what they were trying, but in execution, I think it's a very mixed movie. And then Batman v Superman came out. I remember seeing it, pretty much the pre-release version of it, and I thought it was good. When we all saw it together, I thought it was good, but rewatching it, and even with the Ultimate Edition, I don't like it. I really don't like it. There are some great moments in it, there's some great stuff in it, but altogether, it doesn't save it. And I have a slight bias because I do know people who were in that movie, who were actually in that movie as characters. And then we get to Suicide Squad, and honestly, once that movie came out, I felt like the DCU was dead. I felt like this is awful. That's the lowest point for the DCU. It was just not good. But then Wonder Woman came out, and I was like, oh wow, they actually care about these characters who have nearly now over 80 years of history. It's like they actually cared. And then Justice League happened, and it shows, no, they still don't have a full grasp on these characters. So, honestly, the DCU has just been draining, and has just been very hodgepodge, in a personal opinion.
Oh, Crimson Amazon's here. Say hello, Crimson.
Hi.
Oh, we're so glad to have you back. And also, we have baby Emmy, a.k.a. baby Amazon here. Say hi, Emmy. Yeah, she's just really silent because she's been very cranky. Well, anyway, while you're here, before we get into details, why don't you talk real quick how you felt about the DC films up until this point?
So we have Suicide Squad, BVS,
Man of
Justice
Steel.
League, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Okay, Suicide Squad sucked. It was a mess, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, my favorite character was Harley Quinn, and that was surprising to me because Enchantress is one of my favorite villains.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty upset that she was a mess. Like, everything in that movie was a mess. The dialogue made no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
The story made no sense. Whatever, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Man of Steel was good. Seeing Aquaman now, I think Man of Steel is, like, lower on my list now because of Aquaman.
Okay, hold that thought. Real quick. So, but you did like Man of Steel.
I did like Man of Steel. I think that Henry Cavill is a great Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just kind of felt like Man of Steel was super rushed.
Funny. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like, everybody knows, like, Clark Kent's backstory.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like they could have gone into a little more detail with it because they actually showed Krypton in this one.
Right.
So I wanted to spend, like, a tiny bit more time on Krypton, maybe have some, like, flashbacks with Zod, if that makes any sense.
No, I actually want that, too.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would do that for, like, a sequel before they did Batman v Superman. Speaking of, how do you feel about Batman v Superman?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
At first, I was, like, super pumped about Batman v Superman. I was like, heck yeah! We're having, Batman, Superman fighting each other. It's going to be awesome. And it was the first 3 times I saw it. And then after that, I was just kind of bored.
Oh, wow. This is the first time I'm hearing this from her, just to let you know.
Yeah. Well, because I've, like, thought about it a lot before
right.
I did this. But I'm bored. I don't have a desire to watch it again.
Wow.
I don't know. I felt like it could have been done better. Like, I literally can't tell you why I feel that way. I just don't care to never see it again.
Okay.
I don't know. Wonder Woman was amazing. She's my favorite. I'm going to say again, I think Aquaman was better.
So you can kind of already tell how she feels.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about Wonder Woman besides they nailed her.
Yeah, they definitely made
Gal Gadot is amazing.
Gal Gadot definitely proved me wrong with that.
Yeah. I was really worried about how they were going to handle, like, how she was going to handle the character, but she nailed it. And, because Wonder Woman is really supposed to be a serious character.
Yeah.
She's like, she's a no fun and games type of character. And I feel like, Gal Gadot being the serious actress that she is, she doesn't know how to do fun.
Right.
Everything else that I've seen her in, I'm just like, straight face. She's just straight face the whole time.
Right. Oh, yeah, Justice League.
I didn't like it. I liked it the first time I saw it. And then, because the hype.
Right.
And then the second time I saw it, so disappointed. There were so many problems with it. And I feel like that could have been solved if we had a hashtag Snyder Cut.
Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut never happening.
I know.
Fuck you, Warner Brothers.
I pray that it would happen one day, but I don't know.
But you could definitely feel like there were holes in the story. It was messy.
Yeah.
Super messy.
Yeah.
Super messy. Like, that's the only word I can use to actually describe it.
Yeah.
It was messy. And you could tell that, you could tell that like there were scenes that just didn't fit together.
Right.
It just jumped around randomly, and then when you get to the final fight scene, you know, when you get to the big fight scene,
Oh God.
that was my favorite. To be honest with you.
That was your favorite part?
Yeah.
Ooh. I thought that final act was...
I mean, I know it was bad, but at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was bad, but it was my favorite part of the movie.
I guess.
And I don't know if that's... I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, the movie's just a definition of mediocrity.
Like, seriously, it was a rush job. Like...
The humor was so misplaced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially compared to Batman vs. Superman and...
Yeah. Just like, it doesn't feel tonally consistent. It doesn't. Oh, man, just...
And a lame villain. Steppenwolf was stupid.
Yeah, and you cut out Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you do that? But anyway, I didn't want to be a dissection of Justice League. That could be part 2 for a discussion of Justice League.
But where Justice League falters, Aquaman doesn't.
Yes.
That's where we're getting at.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Okay. So if you guys have been keeping up with the podcast, you guys will know that I loved Man of Steel, and it's probably my favorite Superman film. It's one of my favorite superhero films in general. I thought he did a really good job with Man of Steel. Batman v Superman, I enjoyed. There are problems with the movie, quite a few problems, but it wasn't enough for me to say that I thought it was a bad film. It just felt like the studio was just trying to rush to get a cinematic universe out there, obviously, but I felt with what Zack had to deal with, I thought he pulled it off for the most part. I enjoyed the Ultimate Edition more than the theatrical version. I just felt like that was a more complete film. Suicide Squad it's okay and nothing more. It's just, I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I do think it's the weakest film of the slate so far. Just felt it was a missed opportunity in them doing course correction with the bad reception of BVS. And then Wonder Woman, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought it helped bring DC back, help get into the direction that it needed to be. It was a really good origin story. I thought the villain was weak in that one. That kept me from saying it. I liked it more than Man of Steel. Man of Steel was my favorite one up to this point. But I still thought it was a really solid film, and also the only female-driven superhero movie that was successful. So, hats off to DC for doing that. And then Justice League. Oh man, Justice League was such a mediocre film. I was so excited for that because I love the Justice League. That's my favorite superhero team of all time, and I was just waiting for years for a Justice League film. And it just felt so truncated and just haphazard and sloppy with all the reshoots and Joss Whedon coming in and pretty much not being in line with the tone and the structure that Zack set. It just felt like such a missed opportunity, and them truncating it to 2 hours. It just, I could have went 3 hours with the spoiler discussion I had with Justice League. I had so much to say, but I'm not gonna get to it right now. So after Justice League, I honestly didn't know how to feel about the DC universe up until this point. I was just so destroyed after Justice League. I'll admit, the first time I saw it, just like Cap, I enjoyed it, but the more I watched it, I'm just like, this just doesn't feel like a natural conclusion to the 3-movie arc that Zack was doing with Man of Steel and BVS. And since then, they just wanted to go into a completely different direction with the DC films, have nothing to do with Snyder, and I wasn't really up for that, really, because I'm a fan of Snyder, and I liked what he was doing up to this point.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm the same way. Yeah, I thought Snyder was doing good.
I thought he was doing a good job, but now they're just, trying to be more colorful and just try to be more, try to do more standalone movies and get away from Superman and Batman and being focused more on Wonder Woman, because apparently that's the only critically successful movie, so they're trying to be more in line with that. I'm just I wasn't feeling it. I honestly think that I almost felt like the DC universe needed a reboot. Even though I didn't want it to happen, I just feel like I don't know how they were going to recover from this because Ben Affleck wasn't going to apparently might not come back as Batman, and Henry Cavill was probably not going to come back as Superman. And if that happens, my investment in the universe is probably not going to be as big as it was because I love those two. And if they're just trying to course correct them and just forget they ever existed, I would not be for it. You know,
as of right now, they're still gonna come back. Right?
Yeah, there is no confirmation that they're going to leave or they're going to stay. So there's people jump in the bandwagon and be like, "Oh, they're not going to be in the DC universe anymore." No, let's not jump the bandwagon. But it seems like it's not very likely. So, as we all know, Justice League did not do well at the box office, and it got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. So all the course correction they were trying to do for the movie failed. They should have just let Snyder have his vision, but instead they just wanted the course correct, and they got panic feet, and they turned it into a Avengers Age of Ultron 1.5. So...
When does studio interference ever work out?
It actually does work. There needs to be a balance between director's creative control and the studio, so there's a nice little balance. You know, I feel like if there's an even amount, they will have. I think it works out best. That's what I would say about movies like the Tim Burton Batman, because he got restrained. I enjoyed the first Tim Burton Batman. Like, he was restrained with that movie, but then Batman Returns, where he got full creative control, he just lost his mind. Even we're going to touchy subject. Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan was held back with Batman Begins, and I thought he did a great Batman movie. And then The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises came, and
shut your mouth. Dark Knight is awesome.
That would be a topic for another day. But I felt like that turned into a Christopher Nolan movie with Batman in it. But yeah, I feel like you do need studio interference to an extent, but there can't be more than the other. So Aquaman was the only film to be released this year. There wasn't 2 DC films that came out that year, so I think it was good. I think Warner Bros. And DC needed time to just focus on Aquaman, not worry about 2 other films. Just have all the marketing and make sure all the stuff is good with that. James Wan, I'm a huge fan of James Wan. He's one of my favorite directors. If you don't know, he's the director of the Conjuring movies. He did Insidious, the first Saw. He did what I thought was the most entertaining Fast and Furious movie, Furious 7. Like, all his movies I enjoyed. So I was really excited when he was brought on for Aquaman. I heard he worked really close with Zack when it came to the development with Aquaman and stuff like that. So that was really well done. Jason Momoa, I did enjoy him in Justice League. I didn't fully see him as the definitive Aquaman at that point, but I was interested to see how he would do in a standalone movie. I am a fan of his. I think he's a very charismatic actor, so I was interested to see how he does. And Amber Heard as Mera, I liked her a lot, and I was excited for her as well. I remember that I saw all the trailers I liked. It really looked cool. I enjoyed it. Though I was apprehensive because going back to the course correction, it looked all bright and colorful and happy and stuff like that. It looked like a Marvel movie, kind of, so I was apprehensive. Oh man, is this not going to feel in line with the other movies? And maybe it's a good thing for them to just get the bad talk of Snyder out of it, I guess, but I don't know. It just felt really different compared to the other movies, but it still looked exciting. You had Ocean Master, Black Manta, Atlantis looked really cool, the visuals looked really good. I'm like, it really looks like a comic book come to life, so I'm like, I'm hoping this will look good. Did you guys see the 5-minute trailer with the extra sequence with Black Manta?
No, what was that?
It was an extended 5-minute trailer where it was pretty much highlighting the action sequence with Black Manta. When I saw that, I was so giddy. It looked so cool, and it's like James Wan's tracking shots and stuff like that. It had a really like Indiana Jones type feel to that. So I'm like, oh, this is really awesome. And then it revealed him in the orange suit, and I thought it was going to look stupid, but when I saw it in that trailer, I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be good. You make the orange suit look awesome. So I was definitely excited. So apparently China was able to see this movie like a month before the U.S. That was kind of interesting. That normally doesn't happen with DC movies, but this is the first time like China was able to get the movie early. Also, critics were able to see this movie like a couple weeks before it was officially released on the 21st. So the critics were able to get their thoughts out there, and the audience in China was raving about it. So that also got me really excited for the film. And also, even I think members of Amazon Prime got early screenings of the movie too. So everyone was able to see this movie and get their opinions out there. But you know, little old me, I was late. I had to see it with the regular people, but that was okay because I did see it opening weekend here with Captain Eagle, JoJo, and Crimson Amazon. We all saw it opening weekend, and overall, if you guys couldn't tell already, I really enjoyed Aquaman, and this is I don't even know why I'm building this up, because if you guys seen my best films of 2018, you guys know Aquaman was on the list. I love this movie. It was such a fun time. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Fun ride from start to finish. I just enjoyed it. Jojo, how did you feel about Aquaman?
Okay, I have to preface this.
Mm-hmm.
Before this movie happened, before even Aquaman made his appearance in BBS, I did not like Aquaman. I'll be honest. This was way before I read comics. I was one of those filthy plebs that was like, "Oh, Aquaman, he just talks to the fish. He's not cool. He's lame. He's a stupid poopy pants." But once you actually read the comics, Aquaman is actually really cool. Mm-hmm. Aquaman is not just, the fish guy. He literally controls 70% of the entire Earth, since 70% of the Earth is water. Mm-hmm. So he controls half part of the Earth. Mm-hmm. And he can control any fish, including sharks. And we all know people are still scared of sharks for some unknown reason. But once you see Aquaman's cool, it's like, oh yeah. And then we did see a sliver of Aquaman, and I was like, oh, okay. But once we actually get to see him do his thing, it's great. Aquaman, the movie is great. It's actually, surprisingly, a great movie that they have. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't mess it up with Shazam.
Yeah, I hope not.
Because I actually really like Shazam.
I'm a Shazam fan too, man. Oh, I should also preface this. I have always been an Aquaman fan. I loved Aquaman. Before he was even considered cool, I've always been a fan of Aquaman. I read the comic books just like JoJo, and I also watched him on the animated series, Justice League the Animated Series, where they made him a total badass. I guess like people are saying that he's lame and stuff like that because of the Super Friends show where he was all corny and riding giant seahorses and whatever, talking to fish. I'm like, yeah, so he was on the tail end of a bunch of jokes, but no, I always thought he was cool. But anyway, Captain Eagle, how did you feel about Aquaman?
So going into this, because of all the ups and downs in the franchise, I didn't really have any sort of expectations. I was just like, alright, let's just see how this is. I don't really know much about Aquaman other than, what I've seen in Justice League. So yeah, go into this, and I am just blown away like you guys. I absolutely love this movie. Mm-hmm. It's just so amazing. Just on every single level. Just the acting, the visuals, the story. It's just, everything is just so fun and cool.
Yeah. And
just so enjoyable. It's just a great movie. Mm-hmm. Great comic book movie. Yeah. I'm just totally invested in on all of it. It was just so much fun. I just loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, Crimson, you're back.
Hey.
Yes. So you pretty much
putting baby Amazon to bed.
Yeah, right. Baby Amazon back to bed. But yeah, we already know. But how did you feel about Aquaman?
It was fantastic. Like, I wasn't super sold on Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I was never an Aquaman fan. I'm one of the people that thought, oh, he just talks to fish. He's no good, like, in the desert. Like, if they were in the desert, he wouldn't be able to do anything, blah, blah, blah. But no, I'm sold. He's great. Jason Momoa's great. The animated Aquaman, that's not my Aquaman. Jason Momoa's my Aquaman.
Oh, you didn't like Justice League, the animated series Aquaman? I know the Super Friends one was stupid.
He's okay.
He's okay? You would have made him a badass? He's okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay.
But, the story was great. I think they could have spent a tiny bit more time with, like, you know, in the beginning with, like, him and his mom and his dad. But I was okay. I was fine. I mean, if I had to nitpick the movie a little bit, I'd say that some of the humor was kind of stupid and didn't need to be there. It was like Marvel-esque type thing. Mira was great. I thought she was going to be boring because she just kind of, you know, resting bitch face girl. What's his face that plays Volko?
Oh, William Dafoe.
I hate him.
What?
No, I mean, I like him in this movie, but he is, if I had to pick, like, my least favorite actor in Hollywood, it would be Willem Dafoe.
Why?
Why?
Green Goblin.
I don't like him. I didn't like him as Green Goblin either. If I had to, I mean, I guess if I had to pick a Green Goblin, but he was okay. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, get off my ass.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a William Dafoe fan. If you guys know, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie holds a special place in my heart, and I thought he was great as Green Goblin. Even though
yeah, he was cool. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I think
when you're taking Green Goblin, who's like a completely cartoonish character, I mean, they made him badass, and Willem Dafoe made him badass. But
better than the stupid Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Fuck that movie.
Herpes Goblin.
Herpes Goblin.
Yep.
Anyways.
But the cinematography was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I was blown away by the way that this movie looked. I was worried about how they were going to do the underwater stuff. It was amazing. It was spot on, amazing.
Well,
and that's what I gotta say about this movie. It was just amazing. I mean, I give it an A+.
Oh yeah, without wasting any time.
Going off of that, it's like literally you're just like, oh, while you're watching this movie,
bruh.
You're just like, oh my gosh, like what you were saying, the tracking shots, like during the fighting scenes and everything. It's like the camera doesn't cut. It just moves with it and just flows,
and you can tell.
like with the scene, and it's just so amazing. Like you're just so into what's going on screen when you do it like that instead of chopping it up. It makes like such a difference, and it really just.
Ocean Master 2 was amazing, and you can tell that they really paid attention to how like. If you were to actually go underwater and if you could see in the dark underwater, that's what it would look like. Yeah. That's what it looks like to deep sea fish.
Right.
It's like all neon and colorful and crazy. And I just think that detail is amazing.
The detail's great.
Also, I do have to say, since I'm a woman, Jason Momoa is the hottest man alive. That's not why I like Aquaman, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we started talking about him. Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I'm sold. He is my Aquaman. He is
in the theater, both times when I saw this movie, as soon as he drops into the submarine, I said out loud, damn! Just like that.
Bruh.
Out loud. He is amazing.
Jason is a good-looking man. Like, he is...
So pretty.
Yes. But more than that... He's such a great Aquaman.
He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. He is a great actor. This movie proved to me he could carry a film because I didn't think he would.
Oh yeah, he totally embraced it. I thought it was cool in Justice League, you know, but it's like, all right, let's see how he does on his own. He's awesome. He's great.
I like how they added some of his Hawaiian. I like how he kept some of his Hawaiian roots in there.
Yeah.
Like when he did the it's called the Haka.
Yeah,
the Haka.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior call
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, he did that a couple times, and I knew he was going to because he does that a lot. If you go on his Instagram, he has videos of him doing that like everywhere.
He did that at the premiere.
Yeah, he did that at the premiere. But it wasn't out of place.
No.
It didn't feel out of place at all.
Yeah, it felt true to his character, and it didn't feel out of place with the rest of the movie. You know? So one of the nitpicky things I was worried about, like the tattoos that he had. I thought it was an Atlantean thing, and I'm like, why is he the only one that has tattoos? But it turns out it's part of his Hawaiian culture.
Yeah,
so
it's
it
Hawaiian.
Definitely made more sense why he had the tattoos. Even his dad,
had the
Tom Curry, had
yeah.
the tattoos. So I thought that was really good. But yeah, Aquaman definitely sold me. Of course, like in the first half, he still has his dude bro persona, but it's like later
But
on.
that's just him.
That's
just Arthur.
Yes.
You know?
Right. And he still he evolved into Aquaman by the end of the movie. So it was a progression, character development.
Well, I mean, if you look at, like, the animated Aquaman, he kind of has that, like, humor. It's not the same, but he's kind of acting funny and
Yeah, true.
being dumb, because he's just dumb.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Jason, Jojo?
Oh, I'm sorry. I do like him. Like, obviously, the DCU is my first access into Jason, even though, if I remember, he was Conan in the Conan remake.
Right.
I know there was a remake of Conan. It doesn't feel like there was.
Oh yeah, and he's Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones.
He was great.
Which I still need to watch.
Oh, watch it.
We'll watch it.
Such a great show.
Finally caught up.
Fight him.
There's a lot of things I need to caught up with. I'm just started on Gravity Falls, so...
I don't like Gravity Falls. But
Anyway.
But I do like him. He's fun. He shows he can be both the comedic actor, and also a badass. And fun fact, Jason Momoa specifically requested Tamara Morrison to play his father because Momoa respected him so much, and he's actually one of his idols.
Oh wow. Fun fact, he's Jango Fett in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, so I'm glad to see him back in the movie.
He's good.
Yeah, another fun fact, a lot of the cast in this show are pretty much superhero alumni. Like, we all know Patrick Wilson was the second Night Owl from Watchmen.
Right.
William Dafoe was Green Goblin in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Nicole Kidman was Dr. Chase Meridian in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And even Digimon Honso, King Rico, was Korath from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I didn't
This
even
one
realize
surprised
I
me.
knew that.
Dolph Lundgren was the Punisher.
Yep. Tom Curry was Abin in Green Lantern.
Yeah, man. There is so much. There are so many DC alumni in this. I mean, superhero alumni in general. I didn't even realize how many there is. It's so cool.
Isn't his dad the voice of Moana's dad?
Yes, same guy. Yeah, Jango Fett and Moana's dad, and he was what's his name in Green Lantern, the purple guy.
Oh, Abin Sur?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really cool. Speaking of that, yeah, let's get to Tom Curry and Queen Atlanta. That opening scene with Atlanta meeting Tom for the first time.
It was cute.
I loved it. It was so great. I enjoyed it.
She was kind of weird and awkward at first, like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of fall in love real quick.
That didn't bother me. Her acting was just...
Oh, you didn't like her acting?
It just felt so mechanical. Like, when she was, when she was stabbed, or when she was bleeding, and then she, like, kind of stumbled and fell over. That was just so mechanical and awkward, and I don't know.
I don't know. I guess that didn't really bother me, or I didn't really notice it. I actually thought Nicole Kidman was really good as Atlanta. I didn't feel like anything was like...
She was good later on.
She was
great later on.
Yeah, she's 20 times better than how she was in Batman Forever. Oh god,
That's not saying
that's
very
not
much.
saying a lot.
Lane could play, a character better than her character in Batman Forever.
But I definitely bought her as the Queen of Atlantis, and I bought her as a powerful character, and I bought the relationship between her and Tom. I think that was like the strongest relationship outside of Arthur and Mara.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, she can carry an action sequence. That opening sequence with that one tracking shot in the house, and she's kicking the Atlanteans' asses with the trident. That was that was so cool. And that was all her. That was not a stunt double. That was all her.
Nice.
That was amazing. So yeah, that whole scene was great. I even liked the kids that were playing the younger Arthur. Like the baby Arthur and kid Arthur and teen Arthur. I thought they were really good.
And they look like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, they did.
They looked exactly like him. I was really surprised, and they didn't feel out of place with how he would be older. I felt like, it's a natural progression from then into now. So that was really good. Let's talk about Mara. Once again, I loved her. I really liked her in Justice League, even though she was only in it for a minute. But when she was on screen, I'm like, that's Mara. And
she's hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a snack.
She is a full meal.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, more than that, Amber Heard proved to me that she can take on a role like this, and I won't be taken out of it. It didn't seem too cheesy, and I didn't feel like she was shoehorning in her performance. Even her hair that somehow got even more red than how it was in Justice League, it didn't bother me, honestly.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah. How'd you feel about Mara, Jojo?
Oh, she was nice. She was nice.
She was nice.
I mean, going to be honest, I don't care about Mara in the comics.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you
I
don't?
don't care. I'm going to be honest. Mara does nothing for me.
Wow.
I thought their interaction in this movie was great. I love her relationship with Arthur.
Yeah. I even didn't mind the whole, like them two arguing at first. Like, it didn't really bother me. I know it's like the typical, like, romance type thing. It's like, they're arguing at first, but the more they get to know each other, they start to like each other. But I don't know, I found something charming about it.
And there was a point to it. It wasn't just random arguing to argue. It's about her trying to convince him that he has this responsibility in Atlantis that he needs to go to.
Right.
And take,
Yeah, definitely. And also her, there was a specific name they gave her powers, like, to control water. It was, I don't know. I'm gonna call it water bending, but yeah, her water bending. I thought her water bending stuff was really cool, really nice effect. Let's see. Yeah, we kind of talked about William Dafoe as Volko. I really liked him.
He was a
I
good
liked him in
mentor.
this movie.
Yeah. And it's like, and I was afraid his goblin tendencies was gonna come out. It didn't come out at all. He actually was playing a different person. And I thought he was a really good mentor to Arthur.
The entire supporting cast was good.
Yeah,
there's no one in this movie that was bad.
No, all the performances were really good.
A lot of people say that Black Manta was the one that was bad.
Oh my gosh,
boy,
Black Manta was amazing.
He was the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, I loved Black Manta. He was really good.
Oh, he was so cool.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, you can make an argument that, he wasn't in the movie that long. And it's like, he didn't need to be. He's not the main villain. Orm is. He's just something complementing Orm,
He's a supporting villain.
He's setting the stage, I guess. But yeah, I thought Black Manta was great. His suit looked awesome. It was literally straight out of the comic books. And I was afraid they were going to do a realistic take on his suit because
it was cartoonish.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that they went more cartoonish in comic.
But it worked though because he was using Atlantean technology.
Yeah,
so it wasn't goofy out of place. It's it's still fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another fun fact: the man who played Black Manta's father in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Was the voice of Black Manta in Justice League Unlimited.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. It was Devil Ray.
I seriously didn't know that. That's really cool. I didn't even know that. Wow. That's really cool. But yeah, my only nitpicks that I would have with Manta is that some of his delivery seemed a little over the top, and when he was trying to do his mean face, it wasn't too convincing.
He looked constipated.
Yeah.
It's like me.
Right.
Yes, like you.
We both can't do mean faces. We look too adorable.
Oh,
doing
I thought
mean
you meant that
faces.
you looked constipated.
I mean, I see what you guys are saying, but
Yeah.
I'm able to overlook it just because he was still such a cool character.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get revenge for his father dying. So I was like, you know what? Okay, he's pissed.
Yeah,
That's
that
fine.
opening.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that opening fight sequence with Aquaman on the submarine. It's like he left his father to die, and it's
Yeah,
like
he made that
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have
And-
saved him.
You know what? I really appreciated that Aquaman was like, yeah, I left his father to die. I'm not questioning why he's coming after me at all.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat that shit.
Like I should have
Like-
saved him. Now I made an enemy.
Yeah, like that's not usually, you know, when you watch a superhero movie, they're usually like, I have no idea why he's coming after me, and blah, blah, blah. But no, Aquaman was owning up to it. He was like, yeah, I left his father to die, and I regret it.
Yeah. Like you don't, like you said, you don't see that a lot in comic book movies. It's all about we just gotta kill the villain and that's it. But yeah, Black Manta, that was great. I don't know what people are talking about. Maybe he'll have a bigger role in future movies. Maybe
I hope so.
Legion of Doom. But yeah, I thought it was good. But let's get to the actual villain of this movie, Ocean Master, aka
He looked
Orm.
so good.
Bruh,
Straight out of the comics.
Patrick Wilson.
So good.
Patrick Wilson is the man.
He's a great
I
actor.
love Patrick Wilson. He is so committed.
So good.
Like, he was so great. He, like you said, he was straight out of the comic books. The way he acts, the way he looks, his demeanor, his motivation, it's literally all there. And, like, he's a really compelling villain. Like, he doesn't like Arthur because, I guess it's because Atlantis didn't like that Atlanta wit and had sex with a human and had a child. And then he pretty much sent
He
their
doesn't
mother.
like Arthur because he's not a pureblood.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of that caused his mother to be sent to the trench to die.
So he blames
Yeah,
Arthur for
he blames Arthur for it. And yeah, just
You know what? He doesn't feel evil because what I think is cool about Ocean Master is like he truly believes what he's doing is right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're watching him, he doesn't feel evil. He's not. No. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it
it does.
does.
Yeah, that's
But,
the
like-
best villains are like that.
That's how I felt through the whole movie. I was like, okay, I see why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Why am I like kind of rooting for you at the same time as I'm rooting for the main character in the movie? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like with Ocean Master and Zod and Thanos. Like, they all have, like, such believable
And
motivations. And Killmonger, yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I see where you're going at. I see where you're coming
I
from.
agree with all
to
of
where
those
you
except
could
Zod.
totally...
hold on,
Whoa.
pause. Did you say you don't agree with the General Zod one?
The General Zod one is right on the nose with that, too.
Okay.
He's literally trying to save his world and take over
His world is already dead.
He's trying to make Earth his new world because that is literally what he was designed to do. That is his sole purpose in life. He
Right.
has to do that. He doesn't have a choice. That is
He's
his
a
duty.
soldier.
Right. But
Soldiers don't do that.
however, if you want to be fair, Thanos' home world was destroyed, and he's trying to wipe out half the universe.
He's
And-
trying to wipe out half the universe to save people. Thanos is another one of I don't know. Thanos is another one of those where I'm like, okay.
See, that's the thing, though. Villains should be real people, too. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be mustache twirling, ooh, I'm being evil to be evil. Like, no, like, you should see their point of view, too. And you should be like, oh, yeah, I see what you're thinking and where you're going, and those are the best villains. And Ocean Master fits into that category.
I mean, I guess I can see where you're coming from with Zod. I didn't really care for Zod in Man of Steel. I don't think he was there enough. That's why I'm saying I felt like they should have had flashbacks of Zod like on Krypton disagreeing with the council, saying like, "Hey, this is going to happen." Like, I feel like that should have happened.
Yeah, I actually see where you're coming from with that. And,
I feel like I would have understood his motivations more if they would have done that.
Yeah.
And it's like with Zod, like, even though he does have a compelling argument, you're still always reminded that he's a sociopath, pretty much. He keeps acting like a psychopath, so it's like, yeah, you're pretty psychotic. You need to die.
I will find him.
But with,
I will
find him! But it's like, but with Ocean Master, he doesn't really... Yeah, I forget he's a villain, because he's not really, like... His motivations aren't really, like, evil or anything. He's just trying to, you know, do what's right for his kind, you know?
One thing I've heard people say about Aquaman is that Orm gave up too easily in the end of the movie.
Oh, I have something to say about that, but...
But he didn't.
Yeah.
He lost.
Yeah.
He lost that fight, and Aquaman spared his life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Atlanta came and was like, stop, I don't want my sons to fight anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not that he gave up, it's that they both realized, like, hey, that's my mom, like, hey, she's alive.
Yeah.
My motivation for killing Arthur is, like, gone now.
And Arthur's not going to kill
Arthur's not
Orm
gonna
when he
kill
doesn't
him.
have to.
No, because it's like the whole time, Arthur even said in the beginning, there was a time where I wanted to meet my brother more than anything, get to know him and let him know that he's not alone in this, you know. He wanted to have a connection with his brother. So it's such a breath of fresh air, because most comic book movies end with the superhero killing the bad guy. But I'm glad this movie was like, we're going to spare you and actually teach the villain a new way of seeing things, you know? Because, like, even with stuff like Black Panther with Killmonger, where you totally get his motivation of why he's doing what he's doing.
There's no way you could have taught him anything different.
Yeah.
With Killmonger.
Yeah,
There's no way. Mm-hmm. No, he's just so dead. He's just so set in his ways. Mm-hmm. He killed all of those people to train to kill T'Challa. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he could have been taught anything different if he had lived.
I'm just personally salty that he had to die, because I really loved him.
Yeah, but for that, it is fitting. But for Orm, it makes sense. It's like, yeah.
But, what anything you guys say about Orm, JoJo?
Well, I did like him. I do kind of have a still bias because Patrick Wilson was still in the worst movie musical I have ever seen.
Which is what?
Phantom of the Opera.
You know what? I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite films.
Yeah,
Get at me in the comments.
It still is a terrible.
I love Phantom of the Opera.
What are you talking about? She is one of my favorite Christines ever.
And I actually like Gerard Butler as the Phantom. Go ahead, put in the comments.
You're the problem, Dwayne.
I'm the problem? I'm the problem?
All three of us are over here saying that we like the movie.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was fine.
Okay, shut up.
Well, at least you didn't hate it like JoJo.
No, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I can say this because I was in Phantom. It was still god-awful.
You know what? We'll just have to agree to disagree. But anyway, back to Orm.
Our production of Phantom was not that great either, dude.
Back to actual good movies. Orm was great. Orm, and did you notice because even James Wan goes, Orm is pretty much an eco-terrorist.
Yeah.
And if you notice how Orm kept talking about, half-bloods and not pure bloods, Orm's blonde. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in the comic books and stuff, like, the Atlanteans were hating on Arthur because he had blonde hair, so it's cool they did a reversal and made Orm blonde, so that was a nice little nod there, at least. And also making the argument about, the whole, we're poisoning the ocean and killing the children and recycling and stuff like that.
That was a cover so that he could become Ocean Master.
True, that was a cover up, but I knew that was going to come up because, poison the oceans, you're with all this garbage and whatever.
Well, people have argued with me about that, too. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to say names in case they watch this, but there's a certain person that has argued with me about that, saying, "Oh, Orm in this movie stupid because he's just mad about pollution." No, he wants to become Ocean Master. Pollution was just something he had to say, And
It's
the
literally
humans weren't doing anything to the Atlanteans.
right.
He made that up.
Yeah.
He made that up so he could become Ocean Master. So all of that was a cover.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to actually sit and watch this fucking movie.
Yes. Open your ears
and open your eyes
and pay
attention to details.
Yes. He's literally Loki and and Killmonger put together. Like, he's a mixture of those.
Yes.
Like, if you guys actually paid attention to instead of just being like, paying attention to, oh, he's so over the top, oh, he's yelling so much. There's literally an argument. I watched this movie 3 times, so I know what I'm talking about. People were literally saying that he was yelling out his corny name, Ocean Master, in the movie. But no, he doesn't. He said it very subtly, Ocean Master.
Call me Ocean Master.
I'm like, that's when I know you guys aren't paying attention.
Yeah, that was epic when you said that.
That was really cool. They made his ridiculous suit with the mask look awesome.
Hey, they made riding seahorses look awesome.
And motherfucking sharks.
With laser beams on top of their head. They made all that look awesome. Even
Take that, Sharknado. We're riding sharks now.
Hey, even the octopus playing the drums. That was
It fit
cool.
in.
That
It
was
fit
cool.
in.
It fit in, yeah.
Yeah, all of Atlantis just looks so cool. It's just such a cool world, just to explore. I just wanted to see more of it. That is one of my little complaints about the movie, is I would have liked them to have gone in more detail with the different kingdoms of Atlantis.
Right.
Because I didn't fully know all the names of them and what the differences were.
Good thing I wrote all of them down for you. Let's go down the list, shall we? So, first, we have the main kingdom of Atlantis, where Orm is, and was once ruled by his father, Orvac. So that's the main one. And then you have the kingdom of Zabel, which is pretty much just another Atlantis, which is ruled by King Nereus, who is Mera's father, played by Dolph Lundgren, who was actually really good in this movie.
Yeah,
he was acting, man.
Yeah.
Between this and Creed 2, bruh, he's a really good actor if you give him good stuff to work with. And so you have that with King Nereus, the kingdom of Zabel, and then you have the fisherman tribe, where there was those fish hybrid
The
beings.
mermaids.
Mermaids, which they want to be more peaceful and actually teach the humans, teach the humans their ways instead of having war.
Is that the king that Orm killed to take his army? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who is the actor?
Savage. What?
Who does anyone know the actor? Because I recognize his voice. Oh, I feel so bad. I'm not prepared.
Give me 1 second.
Because that actor.
JoJo's the one that's gonna look up everything.
Yeah, JoJo's gonna look up the facts.
That's all I'm good for nowadays.
What? Come on, you're really important.
No, he's right.
I mean,
That's all he's good for.
Oh, stop it.
I heard that.
I love you.
Jimon Honso, that was him.
Yeah, Jimon Hoso, that's what I thought. He's also going to be Lord Shazam in the Shazam movie.
Yep.
That's really cool. It'd be a cool.
Say that again?
Huh?
Wait, say that again, Dwayne?
He's going to be Lord Shazam in the Shazam movie.
Well, ain't that a wizard?
I know. It'd be a cool.
Pun fully intended.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It'd be a cool Easter egg if he kept showing up in DC movies playing different roles. That would be really cool. Because he showed up in Aquaman, he's going to be in Shazam. They should make that a running gag to be like, find out, which role is he playing? Be like a Where's Waldo type thing. But you don't got to do that. But that's just a cool thing that you can do. But so you have the fisherman tribe, and then you have the brine, which were those crab-looking things, crab monsters that they fight at the end.
Yeah, one of the tribes that
that's kind of devolved.
Yeah.
Like Zabel and Atlantis were the only two that didn't really turn into fish creatures.
I love the variety.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then you have the trench, which was those monster fish at the end. Those were really cool. I knew when James Wan was hired that he was going to have some fun with the trench, that we'll probably see some horror elements with them, and there was, and it actually was done really well. I was very excited with that tread scene. It was really good. But
Then the deserters.
the deserter kingdom.
They were literally the desert. I thought that was funny.
Right. So see what they did there. And then the missing kingdom, which was that's where King Atlan's like skeleton was. That's supposed to be the separate kingdom too. They don't go into too much detail with that. But I'm actually glad they even included all 7 kingdoms in this movie. I didn't think they were going to have the brine and the fishermen, because in the comic books they died out a lot sooner. So I'm surprised they brought them in here. I'm glad that they did.
I just don't remember them fully naming them and going into detail on all of them. I know there's a lot going on.
They have text
So
like
they
at the
didn't.
bottom.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I wish they could have gone like a little more with each one.
Right.
Just to see, have it be more fleshed out. But
Yeah.
it was still great.
Mm-hmm. This one of the things I love about the DC films is the world building and how much detail they put into the world that they're developing and different characters.
This has the best world building out of the 6 movies.
It does. It seriously does. And I loved Krypton and Man of Steel, but this, this right
but
here,
they didn't spend enough time.
Yeah, you're right. This one,
This movie was like mostly underwater.
Yeah.
70% underwater.
And the swimming effects and everything were amazing.
Yeah, the swimming effects looked so good. And
It didn't look fake either.
No.
It looked like they were actually in a tank.
Yeah. Swimming underwater.
Yeah, another fun fact. Amber Heard said pretty much everyone was hosed down and had to stand in cold studios for those scenes. So,
oh God, that's commitment.
How no one got any flu is amazing.
Yeah,
they probably did.
Yeah, probably some of them had a cold at least. 'Cause that's, oh my gosh.
I don't know how they didn't get pneumonia.
Right.
Ooh, and Dwayne and Cree, you'll like this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, on King Atlantis Trident has obviously writing engraved on it.
Yeah.
According to James Wan himself, it reads Paul and Mort, referring to the creators of Aquaman himself, Paul Norris and Mort Welsinger.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's like he actually cares about the source material.
Dude, James.
Wow, go figure.
Go figure, man. James Wan. Oh, I love you. Goodness gracious.
James Wan and then Patty Jenkins, right? Directed Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only two that actually care about their fucking source material.
Oh yeah, and James Wan and Aquaman got nothing for Oscar nominations.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
throw
not
that
talk
in there.
about
Oh
that.
God, we'll get to that towards the end.
Okay.
I even thought Zach cared about the source material, though he went in another direction with it. But I think.
Oh, of course. I mean, of course he cared about the source material.
Yeah.
But they didn't go with what he made.
Nope.
So, hashtag Snyder Cut.
Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
Hashtag no Snyder Cut. Zack and Snyder only reads the same Batman stories everyone read. Hashtag fight me.
Oh, I'll fight you. Oh, freaking
Hashtag
day.
you're gonna die.
You're gonna die. Anyway.
Hashtag worth it.
Anyway.
Hashtag shut your mouth.
Anyway, so this movie literally felt like they wanted to put all the concepts, all the storylines, all of it truncated into one film. It was like they told James Wan, this will probably be your only opportunity to do an Aquaman film. So you're going to put every single thing in this movie. So that's one of the things I'm nitpicking about, because I did feel there was a lot going on, because there was a lot a lot to explain with Atlantis and the people there and different tribes.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't crazy. It didn't overwhelm me. Justice League overwhelmed me.
Yes, it did.
Justice League went so fast that when the movie was over, the second time I saw it, when the movie was over, I was like, wait, the movie's over? We're done?
We're done? That's it?
No, I do feel like, there was a lot going on, but Aquaman at least kind of took their time.
Yeah.
There were some things that they could have gone into a little more detail with, but, I didn't feel like it was super important to the story. Like, the other kingdoms, I didn't really feel like that was super important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really need to flesh that out very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they did a good job with that. I didn't mind the pacing.
Yeah, I actually was never bored in this movie. If
No,
people
I was
say they were
never bored.
I don't get that. Yeah,
How
I
are you
wasn't-
bored in
yeah,
this
no.
movie?
Yeah,
Probably superhero fatigue.
Hashtag Captain Eagle's sister.
yeah, my sister. Gosh.
Oh yeah,
don't understand.
she hated Aquaman.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah, so it didn't bother me either. See what happens when you give some time to develop Justice
See what
League.
happens when you care about your source material? Justice League, Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Yep.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah. So yeah, this is why I think superhero movies like this need to be over 2 hours. Like, just because people don't know Aquaman, so it's like you can't have people assume that they know what the world is. So I would rather have them put all the stuff in here in one film than to just give us the cliff notes. My only thing about it is that since they touched on so much stuff with Atlantis, I don't know what they're going to do with the sequel, because they touched on everything that they could do for a sequel. You did the Trench, you did Orm, you did Black Manta, you did all of this stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's more for them to tell. I'm sure there is more, but there's just I thought they would have saved Black Manta for a sequel. I think they could have saved the Trench for a sequel. Even they could have saved King Nereus and the Kingdom of Zabel, but they actually all fitted into the story really well. And then people were complaining that there's too much action going on. But first of all, you say it's boring, but then you say there's too much action going on. What? Make up your mind. But yeah, they thought, why was Orm and Arthur fighting twice in the movie? Because the first time Arthur didn't know what he was doing, and then by the time he gets to the end, he fully encapsulates his role as the king, and then he defeats Ocean Master. Character development. Isn't that what they did in Black Panther? Killmonger kicked Black Panther's ass in the beginning, and then towards the end when they were in their suits, he killed them?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Be consistent.
Can we talk how that's that one best visual effects? Can we talk about that?
Yes. Dude. I mean, we already talked about it a little bit, but yeah, the visual effects, man. They're so good. I don't know why people are saying it looks fake. I mean, first of all, you have different weird mystical creatures going on, so yes, of course it's not going to look realistic, but it looked well rendered to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's CGI heavy, but the CGI they have looks really good.
Yeah, there's some shots where
It looks clean.
it looks clean.
It looks clean.
Yes. Some of the effects in this movie rivals what Avatar did.
Justice League, the CGI in Justice League was sloppy.
That popped out,
Jesus
especially at the
Christ.
end
Sloppy.
during that final battle. They're like, "Oh man, that
So,
CGI."
I don't want to
popped
hear
out.
anyone say that Justice League is a better movie than Aquaman. If I ever hear anyone say it, I'm gonna slap them with the facts.
Justice
Yeah.
League's a better movie than Aquaman.
Ooh,
Are you kidding?
he's trolling.
Yeah, he's
you.
trolling.
Oh, I was gonna say.
We already know how he feels.
Even Lane thought that was a bad comment.
Like, meow. That's her cat, by the way.
Well, it's Captain Eagle's cat. He's not mine.
Oh. But yeah, man, dude, and even the action sequences that were on land, they were really good too.
With Black Manta.
With Black Manta. Oh man, it was some Indiana Jones vibes, bruh. It was just so good. We already talked about, the tracking shot, and they were running on the building and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
it was so amazing.
It was so good, bruh. I'm sure we were just pissing off so many people, being like, "Oh my god, this is so stupid. The CGI is bad. It's so boring. It's so cheesy." Okay, that's another thing I want to talk about. Did you guys feel the movie was too cheesy?
No.
No.
I wanted it to be cheesy. It's a superhero movie.
I mean, yeah,
I like a little cheese.
And
Yeah.
Atlantis is this fantasy world, so everything worked. There wasn't anything that popped out as, "Oh, that doesn't go with this world."
Yeah, really, it's what I feel like this movie did. This is why I put Aquaman higher on the list than Black Panther, because I love Black Panther, but when it came to that third act, that final fight with Killmonger and Black Panther, it kind of took me out a little bit because of how CGI heavy it was. And up until that point, it was a very grounded movie. But with Aquaman, they pretty much have you used to how over the top and whimsical the movie is. So by the time the third act happens in Aquaman, you're fully into what's going on. And also, I didn't feel like the action was chaotic. I could follow what was happening, and I feel like they had a more structured final battle than the previous DC films. Even though I loved the Zod and Superman fight, and I liked the Trinity battle against Doomsday. The Wonder Woman one was kind of a mess, and the Suicide Squad one was kind of a mess. But yeah, this one, the third act, didn't feel so crazy to me.
Hey, actually, we're talking about the third act. We're forgetting someone.
Who are we forgetting?
Carathan.
Oh man, I did not forget about the Carathan. I did not forget about that. So towards the end, when they find Mare's, I'm sorry, when they find Arthur's mother in the trench, I knew she wasn't dead.
Yeah,
honestly.
I knew she wasn't dead.
I knew she was still alive.
Hey, we read the.
Yeah, we read the comic books. We know.
Oh, hey,
what's up.
Captain Eagle.
Oh.
You casual.
Yeah,
Hey.
JoJo's read the comic books too, so he probably saw that comic too. But yeah, we know.
I hadn't read it, but I really wasn't surprised.
Right. Yeah. So it turns out that the Atlantis Trident was in the Missing Kingdom because long ago King Atlan was trying to use the Trident's power to find more powerful resources for Atlantis, but it turned out to be too powerful.
They knew it was in the Missing Kingdom. They just didn't know where the Missing Kingdom was.
Right.
Because it was missing.
Yeah, it was pretty much there because right.
No way, it was missing. What?
Missing Kingdom. But yeah, pretty much because King Atlan was trying to find a new power source for Atlantis, but it turned out to be too powerful, and that created the Seven Kingdoms. That was actually a very interesting backstory of how the Seven Kingdoms were created, even though I kind of already knew that. But I'm just glad that they elaborated on that. Now, let me talk about that Carathan scene when Arthur finally embodies his role as Aquaman. Who is the voice actor for the Carathan?
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews. Mary Poppins herself.
The Queen herself.
I thought Emily Blunt was Mary Poppins.
You know what? No, we're not getting into that. We're not getting into that.
Hey, Evan thought that songs from Mary Poppins were from Sound of Music.
They're basically the same movie. Sorry,
No.
I got them mixed up.
He said it was the same. He said it was the same movie, but
I'm kidding.
Hold on, let me see who actually wrote the music to Mary Poppins.
I'm rethinking this whole marriage
I'm
thing.
kidding.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, while she's doing that, that really shocked me that she was doing the voice of the Carathan. I didn't recognize her voice.
If you guys wouldn't have told me, then I would have known.
Mm-hmm. And like in that scene, that proved to me how great Jason was as Aquaman when he gives that speech of he's the reluctant hero. This is the hero's journey, and that him being the reluctant hero, being like he feels like he's not good enough to be king, but he wants to do this because he wants to save his home and the people that he loves. That right there is something I can get behind.
And I know that's probably not the most original plot,
No, it's
reluctant
not.
hero, it ends up coming to power, But, like, the way that they do it is unique, and they do it well.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
And I bought into it. Like, I didn't feel like it was, half-assed, and Jason was all into it. And then, when he took that trident for the first time, and the power soaked into him!
I said damn again.
Yes! And then he walks out of that waterfall
With that suit.
with the orange suit. Look.
By the way, I was worried about them doing the orange suit when I heard.
Right.
Because I thought it was going to look like the animated suit, which looks lame as fuck.
Yeah.
But this suit was amazing.
It was great. Even Zach was like apprehensive to do the orange suit. Even though James Wan was like, "Don't do the orange suit yet. I want to do it." I'm like, okay, then I'll do a different variation. But yeah, I was scared. But bruh, That suit is awesome. I don't care what
That suit
people.
was awesome.
I don't care what people tell me.
Yeah, it looked good.
It was awesome. Like, I can believe anything at this point. I can believe you can translate anything. I might even buy Wolverine's ridiculous yellow suit.
Yeah, if they can do this, they can do that.
They can do that. Yeah, because at the longest time, I'm like, please don't put Wolverine in that ridiculous suit. But you know what? Why not? Because you made Aquaman's suit look awesome. And then, yeah, we already talked about that. We started talking about the third act. That third act was awesome. I got chills, bro. When the brine was like charging against the Atlanteans, bro, and the giants like crab monsters behind them, I got chills running down my spine. But not as much as when he commands the Karathan to erupt from the deep, and it charges, bruh. There's in comic book movies, there are those iconic shots for superheroes where you feel they fully embody the character. In Batman Begins, it was Christian Bale getting Falcone out of the car, and he goes, "I'm Batman." In Man of Steel, it was him flying for the first time. Wonder Woman, it was the No Man's Land scene. In Aquaman, it was him riding on top of a Karathan with the trident above him, with lightning coming from the trident, and him going, "Ah!" That, I lost my mind. I lost my mind. For people that don't get sacked after watching that, you're not alive. I'm sorry, you are not human. That was amazing. Yeah. Him riding on a Karathan. Clash of the Titans, that's how you release the Kraken, my friend. Oh my gosh. Oh, so many chills running down my spine. That whole sequence, it was like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars meets... Oh, it was just so great. I don't know what to tell you, man. This is just
epic.
So epic. I didn't think anything like this would happen in the comic book movie. And to have it look so good, you know? Be done so well. Like, that whole third act was amazing. This is what I wanted to feel from Justice League. Chills running down my spine, excitement, you know, throwing things and stuff. Like, this is what I wanted from Justice League. This is what I got it here. And then, yeah, that final fight with Ocean Master and Aquaman, when they're both in their ridiculous suits, that was awesome.
They're ridiculously awesome suits. They looked amazing.
They looked awesome.
All the costumes in this movie.
But yeah, that Orm and Aquaman fight at the end, that was really good. It didn't bother me that they were fighting a second time, because this is, you know, this was pre Arthur becoming king, and now that he's king, he has to one up Ocean Master. So yeah, I thought that was really good. It was shot really cool too when they came out of the ocean, and that freaking sideways shot of Ocean Master. That was so cool. Really, the tagline of this movie is just so freaking cool. I don't know how people are just like hating on this. There's so many cool things happening in this movie. And then what I really appreciate about the ending fight is that, you know, I'm glad that he didn't kill him. Yeah, Arthur didn't kill Orm, because, you know, he really, like I said, wanted to have a connection with Orm, and it's like he never wanted to kill him. Even Orm said in the beginning of the movie that he didn't want to kill Arthur either. So I'm glad to have that, you know, that brother connection. And then it's revealed to Orm that, you know, his mother's still alive, and then trying to, teach him that violence is not the way, because he's been raised, raised to be violent, and everything is war and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they had that closure. And even at the end, Arthur was like, "When you're ready, let's talk." When does a comic book movie just do that? Just be like, let's talk about our issues, man. Let's not fight about it. This is stuff that I even wanted from the Thor films. I feel like it was more enforced in this, because, with, I don't know, the Thor and Loki stuff is feeling played out at this point in time, They kind of had me with, from the first Thor to the Dark World, but then Ragnarok, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not as invested as I was, but I'm glad they took this more seriously, and I hope we probably will see Orm more in future movies. We covered everything, so let's get to the mid-credit scene. I forget who the scientist was.
Dr. Shen.
Dr. Shen. He was also the cop in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So
I don't like that actor. He's annoying.
Yeah, I was not thrilled to see him here, but he wasn't as bad as he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and hopefully he has some interesting stuff to do in future movies. But I guess it's alluding to him teaming up with Black Manta. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to see that they didn't kill Black Manta either, setting him up for future movies, give him more development. So that's really cool. And that's the only mid-credit scene we got, which I'm glad. I feel like with DC they incorporate the credit scenes a lot better than Marvel, because I kept saying, don't put the important credit scenes in the middle and then have us wait for 19 minutes for a throwaway. Like, they put the throwaways in the middle and then they have the important one at the end, or they just put the important one in the middle and then that's it. So I'm glad about that. So yeah, I think it's our overall thoughts. So let's go to grades now. Overall, you guys know how much I love Man of Steel, but I think this is now my favorite DC film overall, in general. This just did so many things right for me. Not only as an Aquaman fan or a DC fan, but just as a superhero fan in general. I thought this just was a really good superhero film. Jason Momoa was great as Aquaman. Amber Heard was great as Mera. I thought the villains were good, both Ocean Master and Black Manta. The world building was great. The visuals were great. The action sequences were good. The only nitpicks I have is as we said, there was a couple of one-liners and jokes that didn't need to be there, but they were there to appease the critics, like the P comment. Didn't need that. And then the Pitbull song in the middle of the movie. Then the rain down in Africa. I'm like, oh my god. Oh yeah, the score was actually really good too. I like the score a lot.
Yeah, I like that Pitbull song.
Yeah, and they had.
God, I got you to
We
agree.
don't speak.
No, I do not like that Pitbull song.
I don't like it either. I was just trying to.
I know you're trying to trick me. And the score itself had a synthy type of feel to it, almost like a Tron Legacy type of feel, especially with the Black Manta theme. Bruh, that Black Manta theme is awesome, bruh. Definitely more memorable than the score in Justice League.
What was the score in Justice League?
Who knows?
Mostly mashups and stuff, and reused stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. But yeah, I didn't feel it's not my favorite score. I still like I like the Man of Steel score the best, followed by the Batman v Superman score.
Oh yeah, love the BVS score.
Yeah, but this one, the score actually felt like a part of the movie. It didn't feel forgettable, and actually helped enhance the experience. But yeah, overall, I gotta give Aquaman a solid A. A for Aquaman. Jojo.
I don't know what I would give it. I did like it. Have some nitpicks, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it. I will say I will give it an A. A pretty solid A. Not an A minus or an A plus. A solid A.
Mm-hmm. Captain Eagle?
You pretty much listed my thoughts on the movie, just with the little complaints. There are basically, not any issues with the movie for me. I just think it's amazing. So yeah, I also give it an A.
Crimson Amazon.
This movie's perfect. This movie is damn good. I have little nitpicks that I have little things about the movie that make me not want to give it an A+, so I will also give it an A.
What nitpicks?
Like the humor.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's
Little
Jason Momoa, and I know there was going to be a little bit, but there were some jokes where I was like, ugh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And when Mira tried to be funny, that was weird.
Oh yeah, remember that scene where Arthur gives her flowers, and then she just eats the flowers.
Like, I'm sorry, but an Atlantean would know not to eat flowers. That was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like the pacing got a bit too slow.
Yeah, yeah.
I never felt that way, but...
I was always interested, but sometimes I felt like it got a bit too slow, like it was dragging a bit. And then it picked itself back up. So that would be another minor nitpick.
Yeah. I think, like when they were... all the action sequences up till the gladiator fight was at this breakneck pace, and then when they got to Arthur and Mera trying to find the trident, that's where it started to slow a little bit down, which I guess it didn't match the momentum of the first quarter of the movie, but then like later on it gets back to its pace. And then like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's like it felt like when they were giving development and exposition, it's always interrupted by an explosion. Like an actual explosion, like with Orm and King Nerys talking in the beginning, talking about they want to start a war with the Atlanteans. Oh, explosion!
The sub.
And then the sub explosion.
Orchestrated that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just felt a pattern.
So that was on purpose.
Yeah. And then like Volko talking to Arthur and Mera in that like secret base, safe house, whatever, and then explosion. And then Mera and Arthur, when they were discovering, oh, this is where King Atlan is, explosion, Black Manta. So like, I noticed like, okay, that was kind of weird. It's always interrupted by an explosion.
I didn't realize that. No.
But yeah, it didn't bother me. So yeah, that's our overall thoughts on Aquaman. You take it or leave it, haters, because guess what? Aquaman has a decent rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it made $1 billion, the highest grossing DC film.
Yeah, Warner Brothers can't ignore that, so the DC Extended Universe must continue going.
It must. So for all you people saying that the DCEU is dead,
it's not.
It's not dead. You can keep screaming to the mountains that, oh, it's horrible, it needs to stop. It's obviously not stopping. People want to see DC movies. People like these.
Gotta be honest, I'm really sick of Marvel.
Yeah.
So...
it's like they're pumping out 3 movies a year, and I honestly needed a break after Ant-Man and the Wasp. After Infinity War, I needed a break. I don't know if I'm ready for Captain Marvel, honestly.
Yeah. Marvel fatigue.
Right. So
honestly, I feel it's superhero fatigue in general. Since we get a lot of superhero movies out now than we ever had.
I agree with you.
Cause
like, I feel it's more just superheroes in general, since those are the breadwinners now. But
I feel like if they didn't release superhero movies like every year, if they didn't just try to pop them out, they could spend more time developing the story.
Right.
And spend more time revising the script and being like, okay, this doesn't need to be here. We don't need to have this. We should spend more time on this. But they just keep trying to pop them out.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I feel like it's just getting too much at this point.
Yeah. And it doesn't just end at Disney, Marvel, and DC, because the Sony Spider-Verse is about to come out, because Venom was successful, and the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was successful, so you're going to see some Spider-Verse movies, and then Spawn's about to come out soon, which is a different comic book entity in itself. So it's like, we're going to have so many more comic book movies, and then Disney's about to acquire Fox, so we're about to get X-Men and the Fantastic Four and all that stuff, so it's like...
not before our Dark Phoenix and New Mutants movies.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, speaking of that, New Mutants may be going to Hulu now instead of motion picture. Yeah.
I actually wanted to see New Mutants on the big screen. Now I gotta get a Hulu to watch it?
Yeah, pretty much. It may be pushed back even more, and then they may just go, just send it to Hulu. So, who knows what's going to happen to New Mutants.
I don't know. But yeah, honestly, regardless of how many movies come out, it's clear that if the quality is there, people are going to see it, regardless of how many movies are coming out. If the quality is there, and if you actually let the director do what he wants to do, see, you let James Wan do what he wants to do, you get a really good quality film. And the cats are chasing each other. So before we close out this podcast, I want to have a conversation of what do we want to see with the DC films going forward. What do you guys want to see? What you guys do not want to see also. I'm going to start with release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your source material. Comic book movies should be super easy because you have all of your dialogue right there.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the source material. I cannot stress that enough.
Right.
That's why Marvel has been around for so long, because they pay attention to their source material.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
You actually embrace how they are, and people enjoy it. They didn't hold back with Aquaman. I'm sorry, the cats are getting really violent over here.
They are really
violent. But yeah, you embrace what Aquaman is, and people latch onto that. They didn't hold back at all. They're just like, this is how he is. Take it or leave it. A lot of people are taking it. But yeah, I want Snyder Cut. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I want to see it. I want to see Henry Cavill in another Superman movie. Just one more. Or make a cameo. And I like to see him in Shazam, honestly, because he's a big part of Shazam's development, but I don't know if he's going to be in it.
I'd like to see them follow through on that dream sequence from BVS.
Oh, yeah.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen now.
Unless they make an Injustice movie.
That would be great. That would be really good.
Then that's something that they could do.
Mm-hmm. The standalone Batman film, I don't know if Ben Affleck's coming back for that, but I would love to see him back for one more movie, but I don't know if it will happen. We'll see what they do with that. And then Birds of Prey, it looks pretty good.
Well, not Birds of Prey. It's Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
You know that's not going to stay. They're going to change the title. They're going to shorten it. It's not going to be the final.
Full-fledged title.
Yeah, there are tons of movies that have long titles, and then at the end, right before release, they shorten the title because they realize how ridiculous it is.
I don't know.
I'm calling it right now. They're going to shorten the title. That's ridiculous.
I mean, I hope they do, but I don't know, because Harley Quinn's really hot right now, and Birdman with that subtitle, and what was
The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
So I'm like, they couldn't stop them from doing that. So yeah, I hope they do. What else do I want to see? I mean, Shazam. Didn't the trailer come out today?
Yeah, a new trailer came out.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but
for what movie?
Shazam. I know we're not too excited about it right now, but
I'm the only one here excited.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited about Shazam.
Looks goofy as hell.
Yeah, I'm a Shazam fan, and he's kind of a silly character, but I think it's going to be pretty good, and it's like more of a lower scale type of movie, so they don't have to put a huge budget on it. It could be more of a character type movie, so I'm okay with that. Focus on more of the big aspects of it, because it's getting a lot of comparisons to Big, so we'll see how it goes. Hey, if they could be 3 for 3, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, hopefully Birds of Prey would be good. But you know what I really want to see? I want a goddamn Green Lantern movie, bro. I want a Green Lantern Corps movie.
Well, Dwayne, it may happen. It was Green Lantern Corps was scheduled for next year, but may have been, but it's delayed.
Yeah, I know.
And what the movie was going to be was pretty much Lethal Weapon in space, with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart as the leads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I hope they follow with that, because that sounds great. Don't be doing all this stuff on Earth, because I don't care what goes on Earth.
Wait, what? Hold on a minute.
What?
No, that would have been awesome.
What?
A Booster Gold movie.
Oh, yeah, there was rumors about that.
Apparently, by last year, the script is completed.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the script's done, so now oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be... I mean, I like Booster Gold. I'm not a huge fan of Booster Gold, but I enjoy him.
Love Booster Gold.
I think it'd be pretty good. I heard there were rumors they were trying to do a Plastic Man movie too.
that would be a good funny one right there.
This would be kind of funny. I want Cyborg. Can Cyborg get a movie? I want Cyborg to get a movie. He was like my favorite character in Justice League, and I just want another movie with him. I think Ray Fisher was really good. I just hope they don't just let him sit, you know. But I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Then there's going to be a New Gods movie with Ava DuVernay.
Oh God, no!
Yep.
The same person who did A Wrinkle in Time.
And Wayne, guess who's going to be the villain?
Who?
Granny Goodness.
Oh no!
Oh yes!
Oh no!
Oh
no
yeah.
way! They're seriously
gonna do Granny Goodness?
Yep, Granny Goodness is coming.
Oh no!
Oh yes!
Do you think we'll see Darkseid?
Probably.
We have to.
Yeah, we have to.
I hope so, but you know,
Darkseid is the Thanos of DC.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be in Justice League.
Oh. They were working on a Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah, Blue Beetle. I like
that would be so good.
I'm okay with that.
What? What's wrong with you? You don't like Blue Beetle? No. Supergirl. I don't want a Supergirl movie before a Man of Steel 2. So
that's
don't even think about it. Don't even think about it.
But let's be real. If they make a Supergirl movie, it's going to be 1,000 times better than the other Supergirl movie.
I mean, yes, but that's not saying a whole lot. I think that Supergirl movie that came out in the 70s or 80s, that is the worst DC film I have ever seen in my life. That was horrible.
It's pretty bad.
But, I mean, not that I don't want to see Supergirl, but can you just give more time to Superman? Because I don't think he had enough, honestly. But, yeah, maybe Supergirl's going to happen before Superman. So, we'll see. I wouldn't mind some Bat Family movies, too. Like, I heard the Nightwing movie was supposed to happen, but I don't know.
Yep.
And then, Batgirl. So Joss Whedon was originally supposed to direct that, but he's not anymore. We'll see. I don't want to see Red Hood for a while. Don't. Save that. Save that.
Oh man, I want a Red Hood movie so bad.
That's the question now. Since
Jensen
Ackles. You want Jensen Ackles as Red Hood? Oh,
Red Hood. He would be great. Please don't argue with me, because I'll win.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get some arguments, not from me, but other people like Jensen Ackles. What? Did you know Shannon wanted him as Aquaman?
No.
Shannon Jeffrey wanted him as Aquaman.
No.
Go ahead and watch the podcast, Justice League podcast, and say, "I want Jason Ackles." Let's see. Oh yeah, the Ezra Miller Flash movie. Just don't do Flashpoint first. Don't do that.
I think they're on the fence about if it's going to be Flashpoint or if it's not.
You want Flashpoint to start, don't you, Crimson? You want it to start.
I want a Flashpoint movie.
I do too, but not the first Flash movie.
Well,
What could be Flash's first movie?
I think the Flash should fight like four of its rogues gallery together, because I know like one person can't fight the Flash on its own. So like 4 of the rogues gallery could be the first Flash movie. Captain Boomerang, Mirror Master, Captain Cold, and
Weather Wizard.
Weather Wizard. Yeah, that's a good 4. There could be good opponents for Flash.
Oh God, what if they try to do Flash of Two Worlds as Flash's first movie? That would be a hot mess.
Oh my God.
nobody would get it.
No one would get that. Would bomb. Yeah.
That's why I feel like with Flash, you need to ease people into it, because he
is multiverse.
Flash is not that crazy though. You've already seen Justice League.
True. However, they kind of held back with the whole time travel stuff, and even they completely abandoned the whole.
Did they though? Because they had in Batman's little dream sequence thing, the Flash came back.
True,
to talk to him.
But they don't acknowledge it in Justice League. It doesn't come back. I don't know. I want it. look, I don't think it's that bad either, but if we're talking to the casuals, they're going to be all over the place.
No, I understand that stuff. I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm talking the real casuals.
The real casuals, you know, that thought Andrew Garfield was still in the MCU.
Or thought Fan Four Stick was part of the MCU.
Oh, God. They're going to be like, what is going on right now? Why is there a different Batman?
Those people still give us box office revenue.
Yeah, why is there a different Batman? Why did Wonder Woman cut Mara's head off? Why is there another Flash? What is going on? Why is he traveling through time? So, I don't know. I want to see it, but I don't think you should start it, or you're going to have another Batman v Superman situation where people are going to be lost.
I get what you're saying. I still really want to watch.
I do too, but just ease on into it. Just ease. Slowly. Man,
honestly, this is just more in general from all superhero movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy them. They are fun. Superheroes are now the modern Greek gods. Mm-hmm. In the future, these will be what we leave after we're all gone. Mm-hmm. Enjoy them. They're fun. They're escapist fantasy. They were no matter how much you try to make them dark or silly, they're escapist media. People want to be Batman. People want to be Spider-Man. People want to be Superman. Those three are the biggest selling superheroes of all time. Enjoy them. You don't have to follow the comics to a T. You're not going to follow the comics to a T because you probably don't have the rights to characters who are in the comics. That's why Civil War was Civil War and not how Civil War was in the comic books.
Even though Civil War was not good.
Well, both Civil Wars were not good, so. But you don't have to follow the adaptation them to a T. If there's some things that are dated, change them up, but still follow the basic skeleton.
Yeah.
Just enjoy them. If you want your Dark Spawn movie, have your Dark Spawn movie. Just make it a good Dark Spawn movie. And if you're going to have your silly Shazam, make Shazam silly but still good.
Right.
Just enjoy them, and then if people like them, they'll like them, and if they don't, and it's still most people like them, keep going. You got plenty of heroes who have time, who can have some time in the sunlight.
Right. Yeah, I kept saying from the beginning, I don't want every comic book movie to be the same. I want them to all have different genres and different tones, you know, because not all characters are the same. And then it can appeal to different people, you know. It doesn't always have to appeal to the same demographic. That's how comic books are. They're not all the same. So do the same thing with comic book movies, you know. And have the tones fit with that character. That's the main thing I want to see, you know, with Marvel and DC. If you're going to go a different tone, fine, but make sure they fit with those characters. That's all that I want. So, that's our overall discussion on Aquaman and the future of the DC Universe. We hope it goes up from here. Hopefully they found their groove. Hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes of the previous films. I feel that they did after Aquaman, regardless of what people are saying it is. What did you guys think about Aquaman? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment your thoughts. Let me know. How do you guys feel about the DC Universe? Do you guys want to see more DC films after this? Do you guys think they'll get better? Or you guys want it to just end and reboot? Please be civil in the comments. Please be civil. Thank you for watching this podcast. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like. Like I said, comment your thoughts. And subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers. Hopefully we can reach that goal this year, and then we can get to 100 subscribers.
Woohoo!
That would be amazing. Glad to have Captain Eagle, Crimson Amazon, and JoJo back.
Yeah, great to be back.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Yeah.
So the next film slates we're going to be talking about on the podcast is Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Starting February, we're going to talk about every theatrical release Star Wars movie, live action. We're not going to talk about the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. We're not going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about every Star Wars movie leading up to Episode 9 coming out in December. We're going to review one Star Wars movie a month. So it's going to be really exciting. And then we're going to continue on with our DC films with Shazam. And then we're going to talk about Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and the Joker film. I don't want to see the Joker film, but we got to talk about it.
I don't want to see the Joker film.
The
either.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker film?
Yeah.
Don't want it.
Don't want it? Well, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of new content coming to the podcast. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. But anyway, we'll leave you on that note. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Be good people.